just how did you react to this whole night last night with Caitlin scoring the record?
I mean, it was incredible on a number of different levels. I mean, the atmosphere in the building, the intensity of the building was really special. You know, very few people, I think, can respond the way she did. You know, getting 8 points so quickly, you know, and obviously a deep three, but sort of how she handled everything. You know, the emotion of it all, and you know, you got to remember, she's still trying to win the game. Like we played a formidable opponent, and she only cares about winning, and so much is made of her scoring. But you know, she knows exactly when to make plays for her teammates and put the emphasis on winning. And I think that's incredibly impressive, and I'm just really happy for her family, and you know, how really the entire athletic world has responded to her. And I think part of the reason why they have is her ability to remain humble and focused and put emphasis on her teammates and coaches. And it's incredible to see. And I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing the incredible outpouring of support and admiration. So, you know, we just continue to look forward to seeing what's next.
How green would her light be if she played for you as far as a shooter?
Oh, I mean, could it get any greener anyway? You know, I always, I had a guy that played for me when I was at Lehigh. He scored 2,700 points for me.
A lot of points.
And I took him out. He said, "Coach, what'd you take me out for?" I said, "You passed the ball. I didn't bring you up here to pass the ball. You're not going to shoot, then you can sit." I didn't have to say that again. 2,700 points later, he's pretty good.
Seems like especially the last few games, you guys play really well for stretches, and also the opposite. Just how do you try to fix that? How fixable is that?
That's the challenge. It's the challenge as a player. It's a challenge as a coach. Because as you know, like in our league, every team presents different challenges, and so we have to figure out a way to be a little more consistent as a group, and that's our job to try to make that happen.
Sellout crowd tomorrow. How much can that be a factor for you guys?
It's always a factor, the crowd. You know, and our crowds have, you know, we haven't had a sellout, but they've been good. I mean, they've been loud and very instrumental. I think back to the Nebraska game. I mean, it was a snowstorm, and they impacted that game. So you know, we appreciate the people who come, and we're looking forward to having a sellout.
I know we've talked a little bit about you tightening up the bench as the season progresses. DeSante is getting some first half minutes. Brock sees the floor for the first time in the second half. I know Price only saw however many minutes in the first half the other night too. I guess what's the strategy or thought process behind those kind of
I kind of want to keep giving guys a chance. You know, obviously we have the core group of guys that are getting the bulk of the minutes. The other guys are playing hard, working hard, good players, good people. You want to try to give them a chance as much as you can. You know, and that, as you know, it changes from game to game or as the season goes on. Sometimes guys move ahead. Some guys lose a little more playing time, and I just keep encouraging them to stay ready.
Fran, there are times when Peyton maybe takes a ill-advised or quit, but isn't that part of who he is, and you got to kind of just put up with
it is.
that?
You got to be careful with that. There are times when I will tell him, okay, no, we can't shoot that one.
Oh, sure.
Not that one at that point. And to be truthful, Pat, he usually says, you know, Coach, that was a bad one. Sorry, you know, I shouldn't have shot that one. But you know, he's such a good shooter, and you want him with that aggressive mindset. You don't ever want him thinking about the shot before he shoots it, because if that's the case, as we all know, they don't go in.
Are there specific things to try to get that level of consistency, things that can close that gap that you're seeing?
Well, I think we have to rebound better. You know, we have not been rebounding well. And I think a lot of times people think, well, I'm calling out my 4 and 5 man, and that's not the case. If you're going to be a good rebounding team, it's 5 guys, whoever those 5 guys are. Sometimes your point guard is your best rebounder on those missed threes. And when that happens, obviously it triggers your break. So our guards have to rebound, our wings have to rebound, and our posts have to rebound, and our subs have to rebound.
I think you guys are at like 33.7% from 3 this season. Do you look at that as something, and not an issue, but you would like to see higher? Is that just...
You'd always like to see higher, but that's not a bad percentage as a team. We're going to shoot them, so you want to make as many as you can. And we've had some games where we haven't made that many, and it makes it harder to win. If you're only making 5, 4, 5, 6, you seem like you got to be up around 10 in today's world. We're going to keep firing them, that's for sure.
How important will pace and tempo be in tomorrow's game against the Badgers?
I think it's always important for us. I think they obviously have the reputation for being very slow paced, but they'll go, especially with Storr. He's as fast as anybody in college basketball. So they'll go, with Chucky and with Storr, and their bigs are athletic. They'll run some of their actions, obviously, but we're always going to try to quicken the pace as much as we can, and of course they know that.
Anything from this last matchup where you played them in Madison that you're taking?
It was a while ago, but we had our chances. We were up in the first half. We had a couple bad possessions, and they hit some shots. Every possession is critical when you play them, and that's one thing you have to remember.
How do you just feel like the kind of mental state of the team is at this point?
It's really good. They had a good group. I think they believe in each other. They communicate with one another. They're connected.
Owen's taken some outside shots throughout the season. Is that something that you're trying to bring him along?
Well, I want him to feel comfortable doing that because he can shoot, and he's a good shooter. He tends not to shoot them unless it's late in the clock, and I don't want him just launching one because there's 4 seconds on the shot clock. I want him to feel comfortable. If he flashes up, turns and faces, and the guy's off him, and he can raise up and shoot it, I think that's the next part of his game that we'll eventually get there.
All right, thanks, Fran.